It's 64 boy.
Scratch.
Dressing the culture, I'm adjusting the culture, huh? Adjusting the culture, I'm adjusting the culture, huh? Dressing the culture, I'm adjusting the culture, huh? Dressing the culture, I'm adjusting the culture. We gon' talk about it. Come adjust the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come adjust the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come adjust the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come and adjust the culture, huh? You already know the vibes, brick by brick. You get your boy Big Wall.
And your man P.stock here for another great Address the Culture episode. Great show planned out tonight.
You already know, man. We in here, big bro, man. We here to do what we do. We are here to address the culture, giving you news you can use. And you already know, man, you're going to see some familiar faces because you know what we like to do. We like to spin the block and make sure you guys fully understand on how we're tapping in to the culture and taking it to the next level, right, P?
That's real talk right there. That's what we do. You know, we bring you these great, you're never going to see this or hear this information anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, and you're hearing it directly from the people, you know, from the descendants of or the people that are doing it right now, this minute.
Yes.
So this right here is what you can call exclusive, you know, with this series with the Hawaiian martial arts and the FMA and the whole combination with the healing and the healers and everything. So it's a great vibe. It's a great culture that's beyond the martial arts part of it, you know, because it's cultural. You know, it's
a lifestyle. You know what I mean? And
lifestyle
it's very territorial and it's deep rooted in tradition. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's what I love about it because you know you want to pass it on and you want to elevate the culture. You know what I mean? So shouts out to everybody that's watching across the world that's tapping in. We really appreciate y'all, and we're gonna continue to bring you this type of information, you know what I mean? So we can continue to add to the culture because it affects us all. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That right there, it is what it is, you know. And we got to run with it, you know. So and we want to get this material out. We want these voices heard. We want people to hear the real from the real, you know, and then build on that because this is great, you know. I mean, that's the information with the healing, and I've learned stuff. You know, that's before you even came on. I've learned some stuff. So I love it. I love to learn. I'm a student for life. You know, I call myself a professional student. So I'm a professional student at this game.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So look, this is what we're going to do. You know, we ain't going to hold y'all up too long, man. We're going to take us a small commercial break, going to pay us some bills. And when we get back, we're going to have Darren. You know what I'm saying? He going to come through.
Grandmaster to bomb.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? And we going to do what we do, and we're going to address the coach. We're going to be right back, all right?
For sure.
December of 2016, that's the last time we saw. We did an intervention tape. And the intervention would show more detail about what was going on, how Jocelyn looked. She didn't look like herself. She looked like she had lost around about, she weighed about 90 pounds. And Jocelyn was roughly about, average about 120, somewhere like that. Wow. She looked totally different. And it really tore my heart up to see my daughter look that way.
You think you've heard the truth, you think you know it all, but you haven't heard anything until you hear Tim Savage's side of the story. On the next Let's Talk with Big Wall and Lizette, we sit down with Timothy Savage, Jocelyn's father, to get his side of the story. Be sure to tune in. Is there anything you want to say to your daughter?
Yeah, one thing I want to say to my daughter.
Hey everyone, P.stock here. Hey, we have Cairo from Able Business Group here with a great job opportunity for everyone. Check it out.
Are you broke, busted, down and disgusted? Do you need money, that real quick hustle money? I've got you. Right now, we are running petitions, signature gatherers. We need signature gatherers to gather signatures to qualify issues to get on the ballot. The money is amazing. My top guys are doing, well, let's just say my average guys are doing $3,000 to $5,000 a week.
Hey guys, I spoke with Kyra off air, and it's true. You can earn this kind of money. I mean, if you need that studio money, get that studio time in, or that marketing money, that advertising budget, there you go. There's your opportunity. Get with Kyra. So call now.
We are back. We are back. We are back here to address the culture. And, you know, we got a familiar face, man. You know?
Yeah, we have Grandmaster Darren Tabon in the house. You know, he's like the third host. You know, Darren is that guy. So and that's how it rolls. You know, but Darren's been with us through us. You know, from the Legacy 8. You know, if you're new viewing on the show, Darren is from the Grandmaster that holds the Legacy 8, Legacy 9, and the Legacies go back. And this is all in line with the Legacy. This is the Hawaiian martial arts portion. But I'll let Darren say that one, explain, let us know all of that.
Brother P.stock, Brother Tone Big Walk Capone, I want to thank you guys again for offering this platform. Alwadi 19, thank you very much for creating this opportunity.
Shout out Alwadi 19.
Yeah, big shout out to Alwadi 19.
Absolutely.
Well, this show, what we're trying to bring together is accumulation of several people that I've met primarily through the Masters Hall of Fame, the Long Beach Internationals, and Disney Martial Arts Festivals. And all of these folks are all connected to Hawaii, from Hawaii martial arts and how it evolved and came to the mainland. So, we got a really unique opportunity to listen to folks who have studied under some of the first generations practitioners, GMs, that taught in Hawaii, and how the arts evolved with other martial arts in the Hawaiian Islands, and then how it all came from the Hawaiian Islands to here to the mainland. So, we're really excited to bring everybody together for this show today. I understand some are having connection issues, but we got a couple of folks on board here. And we got Kumu, Michelle Manu here to be part of Address the Culture. And we got Brother Tasialo, who was very close with the late Grandmaster Tony Ramos in the Kakembo scene. And we all wanted to get together and talk about it, talk about the beginning, how from Okazaki lineage, what comprised from Okazaki lineage to Matosi lineage to the late Grandmaster Emperado, Chow, how they all comprised and taught and how they formulated and all came down to Kajikempo, what we see today worldwide. So this show, I know a lot of people will really be interested into listening to these folks talk to you about witnessing the evolution of the martial arts of Hawaii to the mainland. So, I want to thank Kumu Michelle Manu for coming on board this show today, and also Tasialo for coming on this show today too. And hopefully more could drop in as the show proceeds. But hey, thank you guys for this opportunity addressing the culture on Hawaiian martial arts and the evolution of how it came here, and the people that even mixed their martial art to form what today you see folks practicing today. So I think it's a beautiful opportunity to address this culture. And thank you guys for this opportunity.
No worries, no worries. This is what the platform is made for.
Yeah.
Hey, you wanted us to bring the two guests in. We got Michelle Manu and Tasialo. There y'all go. There they go. Yeah.
How you guys doing? Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome to the show, Michelle Manu. Kumu, Michelle. Good to see you again.
Yes. So,
Brother Tossi, thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you.
That's big. So we'll start with Michelle. I mean, in the history, I'm excited to hear your history and everything that Darren was telling us and Tassi was explaining. So let the viewers have an idea of the history with the Hawaiian martial arts.
Even down to your history, because
even to your history. Exactly.
We can skip over that.
My
gosh. I mean, I'm used to talking about really what's gone on with Lua, the Hawaiian. We call it a martial art, but it's a cultural practice, really, of warriorism. I'm used to speaking on that. As far as like Danzanryu, I can speak a little bit on that because Lua is contained and concealed within that art. But, I think globally, if we're looking at all of the martial arts and the fighting systems that came from Hawaii, from Asia to the mainland and then to Europe, I mean, there are so many that were either finalized on the land, the Aina of Hawaii, or were birthed there. I mean, we look at Kaju Kembo, that is an art that's comprised of several arts that was, birthed there on the land, but it's not indigenous to the people. So that's the Hawaiian Lua. Kui'a Lua is its ancient term, really means so many different things. Duality, 2 hits. It's the name of the god that oversees the warriors. In about I'd say 1830, we know that the queen, Ka'ahumanu, banned hula. And that was for what we believe, of course, very sensual to maybe make it less in the public eye of sailors that found hula to be very sensual. But also, as far as the missionaries and how they viewed their world and that everything was to honor God, it was pretty much a pastime that they felt was not honoring God. So anytime not working was time, serving the devil. And at that point, it was banned. But we know that Lua was banned previous to that, specifically at a feast, what we would call a luau. So, of course, there's jokes. Lua, luau. It's one, the one U away from the same thing. So you type it into Google or something, you see all these, like I said before, half naked people dancing around on the stage for your entertainment. But that's not what Lua is. Lua is our warrior art, our battlefield art, very important practice, right? I always say that, without the warriors, there would be no culture. And that's in every indigenous culture. So that's pretty much the history of Lua. We know that there's never been a formal proclamation declaring from any king that Lua can be shown in public. And so it's been banned for over 200 years. And there's some of us that, and I'm covered in goosebumps right now as I tell you this. So I know that the kapuna, the ancestors, are here. There has not been any proclamation stating that we can, in fact, show it in public. But it doesn't mean that some of us don't. And we're very cautious. There's the public Lua and there's the private Lua. Not everyone needs to know the secrets, right? But, also from a female point of view, there's really been no representation of the Hina or the female warrior in over 200 years. So, literally zero. So I can see why there's some adversity to seeing a woman in this role at a specific level of proficiency out there promoting. I think it's interesting, and I'll shut up after this. The interesting part of like the Western world where you have to be a dyke or you have to be a butchy looking type of female to have any proficiency. I mean, if you look at all of our, I mean, come on, you're formidable. But the best part is Alohe, Solomon Kaivo, you always used to say you have the number one, surprise here. The element is that no one would suspect you. And that's been really remarkable in my life. No one would suspect that I can handle myself and then some. But, it's been pretty interesting to be able to stand in this place and to represent powerfully and to not apologize. Not that I'm out there showing my breasts or using sexuality. I'm also not hiding from the way I've been made. But I mean, look at all of our goddesses. They're all amazingly gorgeous. They're not 300 pounds with neck tattoos. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's pretty much, nutshell. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
You're like, who
That's a
asked
good
her to
one,
be on the
Michelle. That's
show?
a good one.
No, that's great. That's great,
no,
Michelle.
no,
That's
300
great.
pounds with
You did me a
tattoos.
solid.
I got that one. I'm
That's
gonna-
great. That's great, Michelle. That's great.
You know what I'm thinking? When are we bringing her back? You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. Bring her back. Yeah, but yeah, and that's great. And what you said about the female warriors, and there's a history that the people that control the narrative, the white males, they erase all of those female leaders, warrior queens, and out of history.
There were many of them.
Yes, yes. And with the history with Hawaii, it's in line with everything, because I've learned a lot with Darren and everything about Hawaii that I didn't even know, especially with 1892. That's forced me to go back and start reading and researching and learning. And yeah, the warrior queen is definitely, the Hawaiian, the embodiment of that today, So whenever you, like you said, people think that they can take advantage of you, but boy, I bet you they'd be a well whipped ass.
That's a lot of fun. I like that. A girl needs to have some fun once in a while.
Yeah.
I know you spoke. It's funny that Pete spoke about that. You said about the female warrior that it hasn't been a representation for over 2,000 years.
200.
200 years. Okay. Would you consider yourself the representation of that in the modern day time?
Yeah, absolutely. And I find it's fascinating because I didn't know where to go. I didn't know why I was made a certain way, why all these character traits were coming up. And I'm like, that's not acceptable. It's a little too intense. And then, through research and through the elders that really know about the wahine koa or the woman warrior. I mean, my gosh, I'm like, well, of course I'm made this way, and you start to embrace it and you stop apologizing, because you know what? The public's going to have an issue with you, whether you do it or not. So I think I'd rather stand in this space and show women, like, if I can do it, you can do it. And that was evidenced yesterday during a workshop in Tucson where, you see the light bulbs go on and they're accessing something older. It's like, it's not something new,
Yeah.
And we forget because of our programming that it's in our DNA. So, I do know this. I didn't set out to do this at all. I'm a disciple of my teacher. I had no idea that I would end up here today. And I really think there's bigger things coming as well. So what an honor to stand in this place.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That is very, very good.
Could you tell us a little bit more about your career and the things you've done? Because we've heard you've done movies and everything. So how did you kind of transition into doing something that you obviously love into to becoming a movie star? Yeah,
to incorporating it.
Well, I mean, I'm in probably one of the most boring, uninnovative careers you could possibly have, and that's law. So, laws do not keep up with the rate of our lifestyle and IT and the rate of business. And look at, we're behind consistently, like academia, 7 to 12 years for any given law. So I've been in law for 25 years as of last July. So I'm coming up on my 26th year, and that's helped to pay the bills and keep things consistent and be able to do my other life, which is really the part that's fulfilling. So I don't know. I this acting stuff, first and foremost, I am going to continue to evolve in my Lua and only Lua, because I won't dilute it with anything else. I will continue to hopefully attract and only obtain quality students, and they will be the lineage holders moving forward. But, I will show in any legal and moral way the power of a woman through a woman's body and how efficient our Lua is. And so if I get contacted by a director, a producer, and they say, we have this role, I'll consider it. seriously considered if I can choreograph the Lua into the movie or this, you know, the actual show or short and be on camera doing it. So yeah, I first and foremost am a disciple, but secondly, if I can show it on camera, I'm not an actress that's showing martial moves. I'm the real deal, and it's hard to on set to not make contact. So that's a real challenge for me. And training with others that can take it, and like you hit an actor and they're like, oh, you know, they trip out. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, you're okay. It's just a stinger. Like, oh,
Yeah.
people aren't used to being touched. So it's really, you know, it's a challenge for me. So that's, you know, do that by day. And, you know, on nights and weekends, I teach and do other things in the industry, you know? So, yeah.
That's big. That's big. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's dope for the culture because, like, you know, let's be honest, everything is male dominated. You know what I mean? So it's just amazing to see women doing what they doing, standing in their own light and representing for the culture because you know women make the world go round. You know what I mean? Like, and to be honest, man, nobody does it better. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about women and how y'all do it with the style and the look, we come with the strict, but y'all make it look good. You know what I'm saying? And we need that. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out to you for representing the ladies. You know what I mean?
Oh, thanks, Big Wall. Thank you.
That's amazing, man. Shouts out to you, man. Now Tasi, okay.
Yes.
Tasi, can you hear me, brother?
Sorry. Yes, I can.
Okay, now Tasi, tell our audience a little bit about yourself and how you have added to the culture and elevated to the level by giving us knowledge and passing on the wisdom like you do.
Well, yeah. With all of that, my name is Tasi Alo. I was born and raised in Hawaii. I am Samoan and Hawaii mixed. They call us Hapas, or in my people's language, Afakasi. You know, half of one, because my first name means one. But the thing that what she meant about the women, a lot of indigenous people have matriarchal setups more than patriarchal setups. I mean, you know, in Samoa and Tonga, we had some really great queens, and then there's legends of what we call the Samoan war goddess Nafanua. She fought with a blade, a flaming blade. So when she said that, that really rang true. And then, you know, everybody knows the story about Mama Bear. You attack the baby, and she'll rip you in half. You know, that's what they always say about a mother's strength. You know, you hear stories of how they lift the car up, everything, because they're so, you know, psyched out that their kid is hurt, they lift the car right off. So, you know, to have a woman warrior represent like she does, because she doesn't just do all that stuff, she can actually dance the hula. You know, if you put the music on, she'll actually dance. You go, wow, she can. So she, you know what I'm saying, is that's why when Uncle Saul told her, yeah, you'll fool him. Because they go, man, she's just a hula dancer. Yes, that's exactly what we want you to think. Because you'll drop your guard. I say, can you imagine if I was a multi-billionaire and I had 4 Michelles as my bodyguard? They would never suspect in a moment that these 4 ladies could take them out.
To take them out.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want to be a James Bond villain, huh?
No, but you know what I'm saying? I'm seeing her potential, and it's amazing because she's really dedicated to this. I mean, she's done also Zoom seminars like to help a lot of Kajikembo to introduce it to him, because Emperado was well aware of Lua. He was well aware of what Uncle Tino, and he was hoping that Kaipo could be on that Lima Lama, which is the Samoan version of it. But what she learns is critical stuff. I mean, she's designed to where even a man bigger than her, she can disable his joints. I mean, literally where his arm will just hang. I have no doubt because of who her teacher is. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you know how to manipulate, if you can massage and heal with Lua, you can destroy with it. Because a lot of Lua teachers are where you go, oh man, this hurts, and then they lomi you, which means massage, because the same points she uses to disable you, she can enable you as well if you are disabled.
Yeah.
It's built in. I mean, it's not saying that she's a healer, but she understands, because you have minor injuries in training, and you know, and that's how you help children understand that martial arts is also healing. It's not just all destruction. And but I had the privilege of growing up in Hawaii, taking judo at Palama Settlement under my sensei named Jerry, joining the military, seeing the world, running into my friends, Dutch Indonesian friends, Greg Reimers from good old Amsterdam, and they showed me the Penjak Silat. As soon as they said, "Oh, you look like a martial art from Hawaii," and all of a sudden, because I got introduced to them through a Filipino guy, and they dropped down. Because if anybody understands about the Penjak Silat people, these are the Indonesian martial arts. Because they come from a very muddy and wet terrain, their stances are low to the ground, almost like a snake or like a creeping tiger. That's why they have a version of it called harimau, which is where they got those blades that are curved like.
Oh yeah. Know exactly what you're talking about.
So that's when So you start, and then there was always island boys that were all grew up training, but it was either Kempo. But what Michelle has is a very unique and had for many, many years a sacred knowledge. So that's I wish Palaka could have got him, because he would understand what we're saying. I mean, like she explained, once that queen banned the temple because she was trying to fit in with the missionaries. That's why I said his line, the Wong family, she was one of the last to dance, and then they banned hula. And it didn't come back until it came out like entertainment. It's sort of like what they did in the Philippines, where they had to hide their martial art within their cultural dance to entertain people that had just come in and conquered their lands, like the Spanish did in the Philippines, as did the missionaries. I mean, the missionaries from those Anglican churches are no different than the Jesuit priests.
Right.
I mean, if you want to, that I want to get to another subject and another thing, but But then when I came up here, got out of the service, I got to meet a man named Tony Ramos. And then being young and irresponsible, I ended up having to live with him because I got evicted from an apartment. And then he through him, I met Ed Parker. And then, and I knew about my uncle all the time, Uncle Tino Tuielasinga, as my dad told me, if you ever get in a very serious situation, life and death, he goes, this is the man you got to find. Well, since Kaipo's not here, Tino Tuielasinga is Samoan. He comes from his title. His name is the title Tui Manua Islands. The Manua Islands. He would be considered the king of Olosenga Island. His Lima Lama is. He also got trained. He was him and Uncle Tiny Lafiti were Marine Special Forces during the Korean War, and he was a hand-to-hand instructor. They were trained in Taiwan, and then after the war, they continued training in Los Angeles, Chinatown under Ark Wong and all the guys. Remember, you ever guys remember the TV show Kung Fu?
Yeah.
All those guys that played the monks and the students.
Yeah.
They all came from LA Chinatown. That's where Bruce Lee went down to. That's where a lot of things came out of Chinatown and Japantown. And Michelle knows, because she knows a lot of these people through Uncle Saul and stuff, and through her years training. Those guys always had a really strong coalition of working together, supporting each other in the movies and other ways, tournaments, otherwise. And now a lot of them are gone, and now we guy like me, I'm the old uncle now. I mean, I'm going to be 70 in May. So, now, now I can remember now why I used to look up to Uncle Ed and all of them guys, because they were the OGs of that time.
Yes.
So I like what Michelle said. We got to carry on that. But, part of martial arts training is to have as much respect for a man as you're supposed to have for a woman warrior as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she also knows, because it's a Polynesian art, that in our wars, our wives would fight side by side with us if it was necessary.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't think those Maori women can't take your head off with those poi balls. What you see them dancing at the luau's are soft and cuddly. If they hit you with the real ones, your head might crack open.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, like I said, she's very important to a lot of us from Polynesia because she represents, and she's out there putting it on the line every day to stand up and show that, hey, even these hula dancers got an art that if you don't watch out, she'll lay you out.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, and all of that stuff is important. Just like what Darren's done to help really bring out Filipino martial arts through his legacy series with Masters Magazine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people said, well, why did he do that? Well, I'm going to share something to you about my GM here. He said, I could just keep that just for us. And he said, you know what we should do and what I want to do? Let me use this to help FMA grow. And that's why we have what we're looking at, Legacy 9 in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And it has helped a lot of people in Filipino martial arts get recognized and given them a chance to launch their careers in teaching Filipino martial arts, their style or their teacher's style.
Yeah.
And that's the tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's big. So I can see the utmost importance of Michelle's whole position with the Hawaiian martial arts.
Absolutely.
What you're saying. I can see that. So, and that right there it should be. She has students. Michelle, your students. They don't know. They're blessed to have you.
Absolutely
schooling them on the arts.
Thank you.
That's very good to have somebody around that embraces the culture and willing to teach, because a lot of people get those tricks and traits and they want to keep them to themselves and not pass it on. And Michelle, I want to ask you a question, and this for everyone. What do you think is the biggest misconception about what you guys do and how you do it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll just tell you, I think social media has really been an issue. Well, it's great for general research and finding out specific or generalities. There's so much folklore around the lua. It's disturbing to me. They throw ahukele, these fireballs out of their mouths. They're able to create portals. Yes, there was a very, spiritual side to lua, but let's be serious. If I go to a workshop and start talking about throwing fireballs and creating portals, we've got a problem, right? So I think that's the main challenge for me when I'm teaching is the misinformation. And then who am I? I am merely a guide. I am not an authority. I just know through my 24 years, I think now it's 26 total in just the lua, not martial arts entirely, that I know what I know. I have relationships with certain elders back home on different islands. Then you've got everyone saying, oh, my tutu told me this, my uncle, my auntie told me this. Well, they weren't there. And so why is my voice any more credible, right, than what they've read and what they've heard? And so that makes it very difficult. So we try to stay factual and at least if you hear something, back it up by 2 or 3 resources that can say like, hey, this is why I believe this. And it may not be something I like. I may not like what I'm hearing and reading. And I'm like, but this is actually the truth. It's because I've identified with the story that I was told that I've been telling myself year after year. And when I come into new information and I've been on an interview and I said that back then, oh my gosh, like to retract that is really hard, but it's important to set the record straight. I think that's the number one thing. I think if you're getting to techniques, we can talk about that. Absolutely. That's my favorite, right? Biomechanics, my favorite.
Tassie, I'm gonna ask you too, because look, we're gonna get back to the techniques. We are off the hook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to hear Tassie's opinion, you know what I mean? Because you got such a broad viewpoint because you've been doing it for so long, Brother Tassie. What do you think the biggest misconception about what you guys do and how you do it?
What hurt it the most was, we were talking the other day, was when when it started becoming commercialized, when they started charging for lessons, because even the way you had to learn in the old days, even in Hawaii, was a lot less about money and more about dedication, discipline, developing your character. Because I mean, the training has a way of developing your character. I mean, you will learn persistence and not giving up when you just go through training. Believe me, if anybody understands hula, I remember when one of these kumus up here in California, she studied under Frank Hewitt. I'm telling you, that was the worst workout my legs have ever felt in my life. And Michelle knows what I'm saying. I thought football practice was hard. If you have to dance with Michelle, your legs will get twice as strong as they are now. I guarantee you're going to have the cramps and you're going to go through all of that. But, oh, man, I mean, there's ways that, and that's how she's really useful to the women to build their hip strength, their leg strength, because they have to use those powerful positions to defend themselves. Mm-hmm. And I grew up in a Polynesian culture. We do not underestimate the warriorship of our women. I watched aunties knock men out. Mm-hmm. There was a lady in Wahiawa, Auntie Tia. She was the bouncer. Samoan lady. She was the bouncer. Nobody questioned her. Let me see your ID. Man, ID comes out because Wahiawa is right there by Schofield Barracks and Wheeler Air Force Base. Yeah. So I mean, so I grew up like that. So woman raise her hand, man. I'm in defensive mode. They go, "What do you mean?" I said, "Man, don't ever underestimate. They can knock you out." Mm-hmm. I don't know who told you a lie, but the truth is this: they can knock you out. So respect them. Yeah, they didn't hurt you. So that's my opinion, and then that's for you, general public, and the rest of the world. Understand that women are powerful beings. Mm-hmm. Don't underestimate them. That's how we got born. I came through my mother.
That's what I say all the time. Yeah. Like they literally birthed the world.
You would not want to have birth pains as a man. You would not be able to tolerate. You would have to shoot heroin to handle. I was told well by my aunties. Oh yeah. Men are tough, but to a point. But women, you gotta bow to that, man, because that's how we come into the world. And when they give birth to us, it's not the most pleasant thing.
No, not at all. So, a lot of us, if men had to deliver babies, it wouldn't be a lot of people.
It wouldn't be worried about it wouldn't be worried about population too much.
It would not be a lot of people on this planet.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
So, I really appreciate her because I contacted her while she was driving because I said, I got to try, especially her, because, like you said, Palaka was in the hospital. Kaipos just came out yesterday. And I said, somebody's got to represent that art. So I said, if it's not going to be them and Lima Lama and his Uncle David, Nuuhiwa's Lua thing, Michelle, she got to do Uncle Saul's thing because it's important. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's got people behind her. I mean, if you knew Neil Harden and all those guys are strong supporters of what she's doing in Lua. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I'm not a Lua, I know about it, but like the way my uncle taught us Lua was he used it in his Tai Chi class. Believe it or not. You guys are dancing Tai Chi, but it doesn't look so Chinese. Well, no, because some of this is and then I actually went and danced Tai Chi, So.
Oh man,
she's doing a great job, and I'm glad. And I know I interrupted her trek back home because I'm sure she's well exhausted and tired, but. The world needs to know what this lady's doing, and this is why, Darren said, did you get a hold? Yes. And then Brad got a hold of her again, and I'm glad that she's here and she has a chance to say what she has to say. That's why I'm being quiet. I'm just agreeing because, she has a lot to share.
Tasi and Tuhan, it's not about me. It's about the Lua, and that's really what it's about. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's really interesting, the study of ego and confidence through your competency. I mean, I'm not going to sit back and be disrespected, but also I'm not looking for the pedestal. You know what I mean? Oh, Michelle
I
Manu.
wasn't
Everyone
trying
says
to put
Michelle
you up
Manu,
there.
not even Manu. Oh, Michelle. It's like, no, it's not the Michelle Manu show. It's what I'm a spokesperson for, you know?
Yeah.
And that's really what it's about. So, but
And
thank
I've
you,
seen you
Tassi.
talk to the women. I've seen you talk to the women and use those empowering phrases. Because I mean, what do we see on the news now? Women and children fleeing Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah.
Women.
And you see the women taking arms in Ukraine too. So
yes, and they're fighting back and shooting. So like I said, this is a very on time, and I thank you again because when you give time, that is giving of yourself.
Yes.
It's worth more than money.
Michelle, let our viewers know where they can find you or your material. Like if you're on social media or anything like that, let our viewers know. So
sure. Well, thank you, P.stock.
Yeah.
Okay, so Michelle Manu on Facebook, and I think Instagram is Kumu, KUMU 2_ Michelle. And then Twitter, I don't know, it's Kumu Michelle. And then michellemanu.com, you can see stuff there. And for the system, since our Olohe passed July of 2019, you can find information at Wahine Ko or Nakoa Wahine or nakoakane.org. It's Nakoa is a nonprofit specifically formed to promote, protect, and perpetuate the Hawaiian lua any way we can. So there's an online classroom that the students have access to. There's live Zoom classes, and that'll be 2 years next month. I can't believe it. And of course, there's probably about 9 to 12 that join me at the Pa'alua physically every week. So it's really amazing work. I'm blessed to be used this way. So call if there's an application process. Not everyone can just join. You know how that works. Can you take direction from a female kumu is the last question. This is not going to be some kinky half-hour private lesson, if you know what I mean. I'd be rich if I went that way.
That's a fact. Now speaking about the last question, before you get up out of here, I want to dig into that technique and the arts a little bit. Tell our viewing audience a little bit about that and give them an idea of what you do and how you do it.
Okay, so again, not the ancient ha'ahula, but the kahiko, right? The storytelling, the ritualistic history carrying, olelo. This is what it looks like, similar, but instead of just hula and no contact, you're going to the other end of the spectrum where it's full contact. I think we still take it easy to this day. I think, of course, it's been that's the beautiful part about it is we're supposed to evolve. So it's not the original form of kui alua. My teacher specifically really made a lot of advancements to be viable for today's time, to keep us safe in today's world, and to, of course, be formidable against these MMA fighters and fighters as they evolve. And today, even scrappers, right? The ones that want to beat. So it's our job now to become even better and evolve. And so my job is to break clearly the guardians. The way they have been moving me very strongly is to break it down even more. So biomechanics, our own structure when we're dislocating someone, not relying only on the wahine and the kids, the upper body, but relying on the man, the kane on the lower body. Even if someone is 250, 220, 6'1", 6'3", that they're wasting a lot of energy, and they're just lucky because they're probably, like one elder says, lazy, but they can muscle through it. Well, what if you didn't have to? What if your structure was so amazing that you use very little energy and we're at the maximum efficiency of movement? So I think that's the way I've been evolving, is really breaking it down, regardless of genitalia, what makes you effective. No matter what you're holding, can you do it on the ground? Can you do it in the water? Can you do it seated? Can you do a different version with or without weaponry? And this is what really keeps us at the top of our game, instead of, it's not exact, the technique, right? Now you're stuck. Now you have a brain fart for a millisecond and now you get killed. So, we need to keep evolving and stay in the game. So that's technique wise, that's what I have to say about that.
Heck, Michelle, you got your energy. You should have your own show. And I love that energy. I love that energy.
Come on your show.
Okay, that's fine. That's
Shout
fine.
out
We're
to
gonna hold
Luda
you to that.
19. Shout out to Luda 19.
Absolute 19, yeah.
That's exactly now. We want to thank you for coming through. Like you didn't already put the energy out there. We are definitely gonna have you spin the block, come through to address the culture, so we can dig a little bit deeper into what you do and make it a whole thing. Because you are a vibe and you are a pleasure. So we appreciate you coming through with us to address the culture.
Thank you so much for all you do, and even considering having me on the show. So Tuhan and Palaka, and of course Tasi, mahalo very much, and of course, gentlemen, thank you for having me. So let me know if you need anything else. I'm around.
Absolutely.
All right, we will. We're gonna hold you to that. We will.
Okay. I'll come for you.
Mahalo,
Just kidding.
Okay.
Okay. Mahalo. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Aloha.
What we see happening not only to my great-grandmother's cemetery, Pu'uiki, Wailua, North Shore, but it seems to be happening all over the island and all the other islands too.
This TV plant, that's the marker of my 6th great-grandmother that was buried there.
Well, I am running for governor for the state of Hawaii. And it's because of these things, these type of things. Kauikeauli Kamehameha III, he took the American law and he did the greatest thing he did with us. He threw in the biggest wrench he could, and that was our blood, and we call it koko, our blood, yeah. And what he did was he took his sovereignty and put it into the people. So now the land and the government belongs to the people.
Luda 19, thank you.
Yeah. 19, there you go, man.
What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, Lady Luck, and I'm here with the homie Big Wall, and you are now tuned in to Address the Culture, where we're addressing everything in the culture. Keep it locked.
Addressing the culture, I'm addressing the culture, huh? Addressing the culture, I'm addressing the culture, huh? Addressing the culture, I'm addressing the culture, huh? Addressing the culture, I'm addressing the culture. We gon' talk about it. Come address the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come address the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come address the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come and address the culture, huh?
Young and AZ, man. Stay tuned in, man. We just getting started, man. We addressing the culture.
What do you take away from what Michelle said and just the effects overall from what she do to the culture and what she brings to it, as well as yourself?
Yes.
Well, now what she's doing is she's communicating to even the hip hop generation that some of those females think you can dance, right? Yeah. Then use your dance and use it to protect yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, you know what I'm saying. When they dance, I go like, a lot of times I watch the dance. I said, because so much martial arts over the generations, even in Africa, was hidden in the dance. The beat of the drum, all of that stuff. People go, why they drum? I says, drum has a way. The shamans use drumming. It has a way of setting you into it sets your brain like in an alpha wave or a beta wave mode because of the drumming. Because that's why, I told somebody a world without beat and music is a dead world.
Dead world. Yep. Everything has a beat. Everything has a frequency.
Our heart.
Yep. Our heart. Everything.
I mean, so
everything.
And like Darren and Aluden will tell you, in the Eskrima and Filipino martial arts, timing, breaking timing, setting timing, establishing timing and distance. That's so important in the success of your execution of your technique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%. Brother Darren, how do you feel about just everything as far as what she brings and everything with the Filipino martial arts and the healing and everything? Just how do you see it evolving and just moving forward towards
in the future? Yeah.
It was an honor to have Kumu Michelle on board this show. Several of the other people that couldn't make this show it would have translated into a historical documentation of all the various different Hawaiian martial artists that were in Hawaii, Okazaki, okay, some of the Kung Fu that evolved in the Hawaiian Islands, the late Grandmaster Floro Villabril, his connection to other martial artists throughout Hawaii, and how a lot of them collaborated in their own ways. It was a beautiful show listening to Michelle, Kumu Michelle, but at the same time, I really wanted everybody on board. That way they could give a historical, breakdown of who all these great men, who they taught and where they are today. But it was a beautiful show with Brother Tossi and Kumu Michelle. I loved it, but I wish the whole group was together, because I know everybody could have collaborated from 50, 60 years ago.
We'll make it happen
today, and what's going on.
We'll make that happen.
Today.
Yeah. We're gonna make that happen to pick it back up.
I've been trying
the whole time trying to help Palaka get in. And he said something happened to his laptop, and that's what he normally uses. So I understand that. So we gotta set that one up to have that again. Tasha, you with it?
Yeah. It's a great idea to do it.
Great idea.
I was just trying to flow with the way she was going, rather than try to insert a whole different narrative.
And
so I try to shape it, but it was just she did it perfectly, and you can see now. I mean, she can represent it.
And you know,
I'm sure she encouraged women to train. Now we want more women to train.
That's right.
In other words, we need some sisters to be like Stokely and them was in Oakland.
Oh yeah.
We need more Angela Davises back, more militants.
That's a fact.
When you look at the whole breakdown of martial arts, it's not easy for men to succeed in martial arts, let alone women. It could be harder for them. So, in the past, you guys got to interview GM Graciela Casillas. And now you got to interview Kumu Michelle Monroe. So, they are there. The women martial artists are there. And to provide an opportunity for them to speak about their martial art and what they're doing with it today, I think it's great for women to listen to this. And I think it encourages a lot of the females out there to get more involved with the martial arts setting. But, today's show is phenomenal. I wish the whole crew could have been together, because there's a lot of things and a lot of topics that I really wanted to hit. And next show. Let's get the full show together.
It's an ongoing conversation, right?
Yeah, this conversation is ongoing. So we're going to be having
and outside of that, be here right on the forefront, addressing the culture, bringing it to our audience and tapping into the history, because it's something that needs to be seen, because we all unite. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful, and we definitely going to spin a block.
And you guys know, man, I love creating all these martial artists to get together on this show.
That's
for me to get to see Brother Tone Big Wall and P.stock.
Great. That's great. We love it. We love it. We gotta get Tasso with, but I like when Tasso get fired up, he tell the truth, boy. But Tasso don't play.
No, because I mean, my time is limited now, man. My time is limited. I can go anytime, so I might as well stay
and believe me, we really wanted to hit deeper and a different perspective today. With so many, great martial artists coming together that were born and raised on the island. We had some really, really unique martial artists going to tap into the show today, and I wish that could have happened. But like you said, hey, we'll get the next show. We'll get the next show.
We got to get the technical stuff with them. We got to get that all straight, because that's what jams them up. They can't get the technical part.
I was emailing Palaka while we was on there. I emailed Professor Herndon. So I mean, we have to get them lined up. We got to get them on the trial run. So when they see that link, It's easy. Once you hit that link, you're in there. Just put your name in. Go
And you see, guys, if we would have got Professor Hundin on this show, his teacher, the late Grandmaster Wally J, he was Bruce Lee's teacher, ground fighting teacher. Wow. You see what kind of energy that could have developed into, okay? Very unique man, and he's a brother, you know, great man. Actually, I've been teaching on for over 10 years. He wanted to train Sarada Eskrima. So here's a man with a lifetime of knowledge and various jiu-jitsu arts. Late Grandmaster Moses Powell, he trained under, you know, in New York. Little John, he trained under too. I believe he lived in New York for eight years.
That's right.
And then he was under, you know, the late Grandmaster Wally J too. But he's also been training under various Eskrima for many, many years.
Right.
Probably over 30 years of FMA. And I've been his teacher now for the last 10 years, maybe a little more. But it's the way he put it together. Okay, his small circle jiu-jitsu, incorporating Sarada Eskrima and other past FMAs and what evolved him today. And the beauty of Professor James Hundin, he's already in his 70s.
Yes.
But when you watch him move, he looks like he's in his late 30s. So, you know, I really wanted to get him on board on the show too. I want you guys to meet him. He's a fantastic guy. And he's also a blues band. He plays for Monica. He does gigs in San Francisco.
Okay.
So, you know, yeah, he's a musician too. So he's just a wonderful guy. I really wanted to get him on there too.
Yeah, gotta get him in. We're gonna redo it. We gotta get these. We gotta make these shows happen. Like Tossie said, to get this record, to have the digital record, so it can be passed on.
You know, and then you bring in Kaipo, was in the hospital too, and look who his dad was. Can you explain Kaipo's history? Briefly, Tops?
Yeah, I started to. His dad, like I said, his dad, they were the guys that trained with all those guys on the Kung Fu set. And they started teaching. He was known, Uncle Tino was known even in the tournament circuit, because he would fight in the back in the day when they didn't have gloves and feet pads. They were just, if you got hit, you could lose a tooth, or, you know, they just put a piece of tape across their knuckles. Oh, yeah.
The old school. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Darren grew up doing stuff like that when they didn't have all the fancy stuff they have now.
No.
You know, it was due to injuries that they said, you know, we ought to develop a mouthpiece. Yeah. People didn't even wear mouthpieces back then. So, yeah, that's why he was known. But, like, he was, you know, like I said, when the guys from BKF talked to me, he says, no, your uncle, the reason we always respect him is that's what he's talked to Steve Mohammed about. He says, okay, Chuck Norris, them organized all the white boys. Well, what about you guys? And I said, right on, Uncle. You know, so.
Yeah. Legendary. And that started everything like.
And a lot of the people from BKF, they got to know Darren and supported us in a lot of different ways.
Yes. Yeah.
And so Darren, and you know, I got an honor from Darren where he inducted me into their Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Kick Punch Award. Yeah.
Kick Punch Award.
Yeah.
You know, and that's Steve Mohammed and all those guys, and Cliff Stewart. Oh,
you know, what you guys
would have been great on this too.
What you guys got to understand is brother Audi 19. He also trained amongst a lot of them guys that demonstrated for all of these guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know, yeah.
He's humble about it, but he's been around.
Yeah, he's told me. I've heard him mention Steve Muhammad. I heard him mention Steve Muhammad a few times.
Yeah, Aludin's humble, but yeah, you'd be surprised what he knows.
Yeah.
Darren's right. Darren's right.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Brothers will probably worldwide, demonstrating some of the top C-lot grandmasters out there. And he has a unique story in itself that I think a lot of people don't know just yet. But when the time is right, they're going to find out.
Yeah,
they're gonna find out. You know where they're gonna find out? Right here on Address the Culture with myself and
That's
P.stock.
it,
You know
brother.
what I'm saying?
That's it.
That's a fact, and that's what we gonna do, man. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
want to thank you guys for coming on, giving us your energy again. You know we gonna have both of you back. You guys are like honorary hosts at this point. You know what I mean?
Well, it's always good to see you, bro. You know, it's like another home for me now.
Yeah, that's all.
I've been out here so many times, man. If I don't see you guys, it's like, I ain't seen my cousins in a while. I need to see them.
That's right.
That's a fact.
Every show's like a family reunion.
Yeah.
Or like that famous comedian said, it's another fine mess you got me into again, Ollie.
Talk your shit, Tassi.
I gotta thank Darren. It was Darren's concept, and yeah, I'll be back. Don't worry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess I got him because I'm one of the few that can get in.
Gotta keep it going. Gotta keep
it going.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, but you know, we got another show coming up, right? 6 o'clock.
We're gonna take a break and we'll be back.
Congressional Gold Medal.
Yeah.
Being offered originally to the 1st and 2nd Regiments of World War II, the Filipino soldiers, you know, that fought. A lot of them here on the mainland that were formed into the 1st and 2nd Regiments that went back to the Philippines to fight against the Japanese. The ironic thing about that is all these Filipino soldiers that went back to fight, they got nothing from USA nor the Philippines. They never got nothing. So, you know, Ray Topacio Cordoba, Legacy 6 and Legacy 7, all the proceeds for them 2 legacies, I gave all the proceeds for these medals. So, you know, COVID hit. I hadn't had a chance to talk to Ray. He'd been living in Hawaii, but he hosted the Veterans War Memorial building in San Francisco to host Legacy 6. So, you know, that's sentimental to me because story talking to my dad and my uncles, I had a lot of family get killed during that time, during the Bataan Death March, all of this. So, you know, I found it sentimental in my family to do something for these soldiers of that era. And that's what I hosted Legacy 6 and 7 for, to go toward these medals. Now, the beautiful thing about these medals that were first only given to the 1st and 2nd Regiments, Philippine soldiers, we're now offering them to the Korean War veterans, Vietnam veterans, and even the soldiers that fought in the Middle East. So, you know, and being a part of this myself and putting all my time, my effort, sentimental value into it to create a fundraising for these medals. It's great that I'm touching back with Ray Cordoba and all of his people. And that's what this next show is going to be all about. Okay. It's going to be fantastic. But thank you guys. P.stock, for providing this opportunity to address these cultures.
Yes.
And of course, brother, LD19, thank you very much. Thank you.
No problem, brother. So until next time, we'll be back and we're going to tap into everything that Brother Darren just talked about. Because you know we keep you locked in. We here to address the culture.
That's what we do.
We're going to let you brothers go, and we're going to see you real soon, all right?
On the next time.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
All right, brothers.
P.stock. You know, I love it when energy come together like that. You know what I mean?
Professor Hunden just came in.
Yeah, I see. You know what I mean?
He just came in. Yeah.
I love it when energy come together, and we're gonna have the professor back on so we can talk about everything and get his unique perspective on everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We definitely need that on here too. The culture,
absolutely.
You know, that's pertinent to the culture.
Absolutely. So you know, we gonna lock in. You know, we not going nowhere. We're gonna continue to have these conversations. And again, shouts out to everybody in the community who are tapping in, watching us. We appreciate you guys. We support. We are here to elevate the culture and keep bringing you these stories that we know affects you and addresses things in such an amazing way, and we appreciate it. You know what I mean?
And let us know what you want to see. You know, can tap in and see,
Yeah.
you know, and so just leave comments and you know, share and like, you know, we're here.
Yeah,
We got it coming.
We're gonna be right back next week with the same type of vibe, same type of energy, giving you news you can use. So until next week, I'm your boy Big Wall.
I'm your man P.stock, y'all.
And this is Address the Culture.
Yeah.
And like I always say, your culture makes you who you are. So make sure they respect it. We're going to catch you on the next episode. We up out of here.
Peace.
Greatness and accomplishment comes with key elements. Dedication. Ambition. And sacrifice. The saying, in order to shine, you gotta grind. It's true. Success is not for the weak-hearted. Take on your next challenge. We'll punchers chance bourbon and toast to the lavish life.
But, you know, Legacy 8.
You know you can whoop everybody around you. You know what I'm saying?
I wear kilts. That's what I wear.
Yeah, you wear kilts.
Okay, so am I to understand I'm the only one who grew up in a nice neighborhood?
That's why you're so comfortable wearing them kilts. Because you can't do that in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
I am an animator. Yeah, actually, just anybody here play Call of Duty?
So you the reason I die all the time.
I heard you're good at Street Fighter 2?
Grandmaster Graciela Casilla, so former world champion.
Thank you again for allowing me back. The best fighter of the tournament, the secret world championship.
Bad and there's a good. Nobody can tell how our age right now.
I'm actually on Mortal Kombat. That was an impeccable capoeira display of fight. Thank you, Big Wall, and thank you, P.stock.
But anyone can challenge me. I'm ready.
Fearless. She's fearless. She's not only a silence breaker, she's an author 2 times. She's funny as hell, and she's just a real one.
There was a part of the story when I talked about coming back from Dallas, him picking me up from the airport, and how he beat me in the back seat of the vehicle. And in the headline on one of the blogs, it's very popular, I'm not going to name, it said, R. Kelly ex-girlfriend says that he kicked her in the back seat of his car and said, bitch, stay out of my business.
Okay, so I'm a girl, so I'm going to ask a girl question.
All right.
What are you looking for in a partner? First thing that comes to your mind.
First thing that came to my mind, girth.
It's 64 boy.
Scratch.
Addressing the culture. I'm addressing the culture, huh? Addressing the culture. I'm addressing the culture, huh? Addressing the culture. I'm addressing the culture, huh? Addressing the culture. I'm addressing the culture. We gon' talk about it. Come address the culture. We gon' talk about it. Come address the